Hello everyone, welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 205. Today is Sunday, November 5th, 2017, and I'm glad you could join me today. I have my apple cider, spiced hot apple cider, though it's a little silly. Like the high was 87 today, so ridiculous. I think we broke a record earlier this week for high temperature of the day. It was like 91. Like, curse you, November. And happy November, everybody. I've used it as an opportunity to do what I normally do, which is drive around with the top down, but this time without a coat. So, welcome. I was late recording again. Apparently I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. Well, actually, I do have a reason. This is the reason. So, whatever. Such is life. What would it be? Since I finished something last week, which I'm pretty sure I showed you guys. Right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I haven't blocked it. It'll be a while, I think, before I decide to do it anyways. So, I am in the middle of a row, so I'll finish that up. So, last week I was talking about my replacement hat project. This is less urgent now that it's 80 in November. It was more like I need something to contain my hair while riding around with the top down, not a hat. So I am actually doing legitimately the socket pattern. I don't remember who that's by though. I know people have made 50 bajillion of them, so it's not like that's a big deal. I am knitting it out of the Molly Girl yarn, in the Cold as Ice colorway. So it is a white yarn with blue and teal speckles. And I'm pretty close to the 1/3 point on this guy. So in the socket hat unit, 4 inches of 2x2 rib, followed by 9 inches of stockinette, or whenever you get sick. I'm okay with whatever. It'd be the case where, with my extensive hat knitting experience, I know that I would need 6.5 inches for me of head before I could start doing the decreases. What I do like about this pattern is it does have the I don't remember. Oh, I remember now. It'd be the case where it does have the double thickness because the brim is so freaking long that you end up getting good ear coverage. That's what I like about it. And the hat, whatever, that is still missing that I am replacing, had that nice thick bit of ribbing, and it does make a difference. I can tell from the cold days that I've driven with the top down recently. So here's where I'm at. I'm almost to 4 inches. When I checked earlier, I was not yet there. But we can check again for funsies. Yeah, I'm a smidgen past 3.5. So I probably have a couple more rows before I'll start making this super duper mindless. I am magic looping. I am using my Xiaogu red lace interchangeables for the first time, or my mini set. And this is probably a little bit ludicrous for cord, but I've realized that with the cable links I have and the fact that the needles themselves are pretty long, it's sort of hard to knit the project in the round. Like, I could knit a sweater in the round with these needles, but I can't knit a hat. in the round with these needles, and there's no point bothering to do a sock. But I guess from the magic looping perspective, because the needles are nice and long, it seems to make for fairly nice knitting. I am using my US 1s with these. I wanted to knit it at sock gauge. It's sport weight yarn, but I'm happy with how it's knitting up. I was like passed around at night as like, kittens. So, what is it? So, this base is interesting. It's 65% merino, some other, like 37% llama and 11% sea cell. So it's a very different mix. But the llama and sea cell just like totally throw people because they're not normally in yarn together. And still have plenty to go. So I wound this after the podcast last week and got going. And it's been the easy project of my desires and will become easier soon. Very soon. So I probably have 3 or 4 more rows and then I'll be cruising on the, I'll be cruising on the hat. And then I am using my 3 bags full bag, so, continues on. The other project that got some love, non-zero love, was my Everdeen socks. I discovered at Knit Night that I had started the pattern early. I guess it was a good thing I pulled it up to check. It does, whatever, induce some self-loathing, as you do. But I have recovered. I was able to rip back and then get back to the point where I was at yarn-wise during Knit Night, so I believe I think I've started the pattern rows. Yeah. Just barely started the pattern, so got everything like established. Now I think I'm doing the plain row afterwards. But now I do believe everything is lining up properly. Or if it is, it's like 1 row past, and I'm going to be accepting of that. It was a little bit hard to tell. It would have been helpful if I had written down like how many rows I had knit before starting the cable, because if I have ever had a nemesis in knitting, it's reading cable rows. I'm a smart person, I'm geometrically oriented, like, I can't count my cable rows. I also do not feel enough moxie to cable without a cable needle, so I have my little SSK, one of my SSK stitch markers to work the cables, because like, it's just the case where like, it's just a part of knitting that like disagrees with me a little bit. But I do like the way it looks. Like, it's gorgeous. This is one very fine little sock going on here, but the knitting is not as enjoyable as I would have preferred. And I still haven't weighed to figure out whether or not yarn remaining is greater than sock knit. But I saw my scale nearby, so I'll figure it out. Because that would be pretty demoralizing too. Oh, silliness. Let's see. And that is all of the knitting. I don't believe that I'm going to start the project for my niece in the near future. I did figure out what I was going to do with the yarn. I figured out a pattern. I need to figure out another yarn to use it with. I'm thinking that I want to try to pull something from stash, so I think I have some like gray yarn, hopefully enough gray yarn, or I don't know, or a gray endo, I don't know. I think if I make her a toy, it's gonna be filthy, so I shouldn't pick white. Make it easy on my sister. And just because I don't like the pattern that I ended up liking the best was a two-tone one, and so I need a different tone. And I think it'll be a delightful looking brindle with a year and a half, so. Decisions. Whatever. So, like, I sort of want to start it, but not really. I want to knit it on my own timeline. I don't want to be in some sort of big rush for trying to hit Christmas or something like that, because she's 2. She is not aware of the passage of time and holidays, so. Oh well. It isn't like I started any other endeavor. What would it be? Hopefully my emergency knitting will be taken care of. Which is just the hat emergency I'm under right now. But I did end up pulling out this pair of socks. These are my simple skip socks that were from my, ironically, the last time I tried to do the Evergreen pattern. And obviously I didn't use that yarn. But I did appreciate that I could pull out some shiny new socks from the drawer and wear them, so I was happy. So there might still be a nice slow flow of socks. As you do on occasion. Make sure that stays in place. Okay. Let's see. I did a little bit of sock repair. It turned out one of my hand spun socks had a heel go, so I ended up fixing that, but it was a little crazy making because you're like, I had not worn that pair of socks much, and it feels a little bit like steel wool, so it's like, I spun this hard. I was fierce in the spinning of this. It should have made good, strong sock yarn, but something got it. I don't know what. And my active spinning project right now is I am doing my Greenwood Fiberworks 50/50 yak silk. It appears I'm currently in a more yellow region. I still have lots to go. But I did get to put a good burn on this on Friday too. I was just sort of picking up and working on a little bit all of my projects. So that is continuing slowly but surely, and what would it be? Like, I'll show stuff when I work on it, and I do need to slowly but surely work on that spinning project, as you do. So it's coming along. It's in the arcade colorway, and I'm planning on doing a fractal because that is apparently the spinning of my desire. And then I finished something, which is why I delayed bunches on recording. And what would be? This is my Nest Torfino. It is a pulver silk blend. I don't know, unfortunately Jennifer Nest does not put up her percentages on her labels, which is annoying. And it has not yet had its bath. The reason why I think it took forever is that I ended up getting 499 yards of a cable ply. So it was the case where that might have been why it was taking forever, because that was 2,000 yards of singles. Oh dear. So I am pretty impressed with myself that I managed to make an 1,000-yard lace weight, but instead I now have light fingering cable. Whatever. So it was an all-day playing yesterday, which is why I delayed, and then it was pretty much all day plying today, well, ish. It didn't take as long as yesterday, because half as much distance, but I am happy with how it turned out. I wasn't quite happy with the lace weight version of it, so I decided that making it maybe more into a sock yarn would make more sense, because it didn't quite have the right feel. And I do feel pretty comfortable that, since it is Pullworth, it's probably gonna poof, but I don't think it's gonna poof. It's still gonna be fingering weight when I am done washing it, so let me show you. So, we got the screen glow going on there. And there we go. Out. So, it's very subtle. So, the cool thing about cable yarn is that you can sort of see when it pops into place, interestingly enough, and then you just have, when you're basically putting a fractal 2-ply back on itself, it results in this very subtle change in color. So it has very complicated color to it. And that'd be the case where, what was it? It's interesting, so this has like a true blue, something that's probably like a pale teal, like a gold color, maybe even a gold color, an old gold sort of color, and then like swamp green. And I decided that if I put it back on itself, that would sort of dilute the swampy green a bit more. Now you look at the finished skein, and it's very sophisticated with the swampy green. So this might just be me not entirely understanding color theory, but I'm not sure what I would have done with the lace weight version of this, but I think I'm pretty comfortable with the silk content and knitting socks with it. So this will be bathed at some point soon. I think I'm still sort of in the midst of washing fleece, but you can see, it seems like, so when I first took it off the skein winder, it was more, elastic in that direction, but now it seems like it's happy to twist up on itself. So it's pretty happy to twist up on itself right now. So hopefully a bath will even some of that out. But I think I managed to get the right cable going. It was also interesting because what I did was I spun my singles on my normal ratio for fingering weight, which obviously I must have been a little bit off on that one, because that was pretty fine. And then I did the 2-ply on the next one up. And then when I was doing the cable, I switched flyers to go to my regular speeds. And I started doing it on the next one up, but that wasn't quite right. I was passing the right cable ply, so I actually used the middle ratio of my normal flyer to put this one together. So I found that to be really interesting, and I think that's going to be a good trick for the future to make sure when I'm doing more complicated constructions of fiber that I get the right amount of twist in it, because I'm treadling at the same speed and feeding in yarn at the same speed, so it makes sense that I could overdo some things depending. So that was interesting. And this was my 10th bin spin. I have 2 more to go. So, I brought some of whatever. So I have this, So I have this guy, which is sort of this subtle gray-purple, according to the camera, but might be a lie. some of it is more pink and some of it is more purple, but you can't tell. Like, this one's pink. I don't know. I'm not sure what would make it look pink. And probably more vivid, so this is probably one of my more recent ones. And then this one is pretty subtle. So this is my Corriedale Cross Shetland Cross BFL. So mostly Corriedale, but has sort of that longer fiber that you would get from Shetland or BFL. Very soft, very fine, pretty gorgeous stuff going on here. And I've been slowly combing balls. I'm pretty sure I've combed one ball this week. But even though you can't see the difference in color, I'm probably going to do some more recombining of things before I spin my one bobbin. So, for some reason, I don't know. I swear the colors are more vivid, but I verified the rules. I can spin 2 ounces and not ply it with anything, even though I'm eventually planning on plying it with things. So all I need to do is to turn it into yarn-like object. So that's positive. The other one is this BFL. So this is the Emerald Pools colorway. It has a turquoisey blue, a rich orangey brown, and like some gray in it. Really love the turquoise in this. It's not quite coming off on the camera right for whatever reason. I don't know why, through the plastic. So I'm probably going to put this on the wheel next. And I was planning on doing cable sock yarn with it. So I've tried to make several skeins of sock yarn with my bin spin. So I had 3 different, or whatever. This is my 3rd bump of BFL. First one was pretty bad. The second one, better. But I have made a good cable ply here, so I think I'm gonna go for it. And since I did make a good cable with that ratio, I threw it back on the wheel. So this is going on next, and then I'll continue sort of working through all of my, what would it be, all of my fleece spinning issues. I have this sneaking suspicion that I want to start so many different spinning projects at the same time that I'm going to get into the awkward zone where I'm going to run out of bobbins. So for some reason my creativity in spinning has been very high, or wanting to spin, because it's not a lot of brain space. I'm not sure. But like I showed you guys my combo spin plant, and that's just sitting by my chair. Which, whatever, where I normally sit and where I keep my wheel. It's like, I could start this, but I probably just need to wait until the new year. I do want to accomplish all of my spinning goals for the Spin the Bin, so. It is a little bit crazy making. I also did some fleece washing today. I have, what would it be, one more quarter to go. But I've finished whatever, half of the dirty stuff that I had left. So, and then I floofed up the stuff that I had gone clean. I'm pretty happy with how clean it is. But it was the case where it did take a couple of rounds. I guess it's good for like micro breaks, because then every 20 minutes I have to get up and change out the water and add a bit more soap and slosh it around a little bit. Where the key thing that I'm looking for when I'm washing fleece is that when I take the fleece out and put it into the new, or into the next container, does the water look clean yet? And generally, when I'm washing fleece, the water will look sort of yellowy and murky if it's not ready yet, if I haven't run it through soap enough times. So, let me show you. So here is a little bit of the clean fleece. That's a second, we don't want that. So here is some of the clean fleece. The lock structure is not as whatever. It looks sort of like crinkle fries when I bought it, and it is a little bit less wavy now. And there's still like a little bit of edge matter. Just pull that out. What would it be? It will also come out in combing. Whereas here, you can see how this guy, so this is the little comb top I made out of the raw fleece. You can see how much more yellow this guy looks. So part of that is dirt, and part of that is lanolin, and part of that is probably lanolin trapping the dirt. And it definitely does smell very sheepy. This smells like nothing now. So, there's still some grease left to go. I don't know if I'll throw it in, or if I'll just make a little sample out of this. I'm not sure. It is, I guess, a decent sized ball right there, so it's not like it'll be a big deal. So, would it be almost there on the fleece cleaning? By breaking it up, because I was trying to do half the fleece at the same time, and that was just sort of overwhelming my fleece cleaning abilities. I should have broken into quarters in order to have a more reasonable way of doing it for my way of cleaning fleece, which is the hottest water I can get out of my tap and Dawn. And I just keep putting in 2 good-sized squirts of Dawn until the water starts looking good, and then I put in 1, and then I do the rinsing step, which is basically, what would it be? Throw in all hot water, whatever, put in the fleece, and wait 20 minutes until changing things out, because it's sort of just waiting for the lanolin to dissolve. And I do believe I got it all out, so some people are like really for serious about getting to much hotter temperatures in order to get it out, but I think my way is working decently. I'm not so sassy as to put it into a bucket with rainwater and wait for it to rot. I don't know. It's a way. I guess I'm just not that sassy. Options for many people. And what would it be? The individually washing each lock method? I don't have time for that nonsense. Like, would this fleece maybe have benefited from that? Maybe. What would it be? I definitely don't have as defined a block structure anymore based on my dumping it all into the tub at once. Such is life. So, what would it be? I feel a lot more comfortable now that I'm not going to be trying to rush through making a Christmas present. I needed some of that zen. I don't know if my next simple project is actually going to be my breathing space sweater. I remove it without causing trouble. It's like, there we go. Sorry, some of the strange landing is probably actually my computer screen. So I have my yarn for my breathing space and one of my fail skeins from Spin the Bin, all in this package. So that is definitely a possibility. I would like to start a sweater soon. because I think that would be cool. So we shall see. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to try doing one more wash of the red to make sure everything was clean. I think it'll be okay though. I did miss a mini, or whatever, like a little leftovers game, so hopefully that wasn't the end of the world. Alright. I should be able to record next week. That will be the 12th or 11th. Shouldn't be a big deal either way. Hopefully the 11th. Hopefully outside. I have to laugh a little, like, I don't know. I just have to laugh because since last week was like 70 minutes and that was like totally insane. Hopefully a more reasonable 30 minutes is good to go. But I do hear that the guest has arrived, so it's time to sign off. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.